Hey gloomers and glumbers, also welcome to the channel. So I don't really have a specific reason behind doing this. I just kind of wanted to see, I guess, how long I could do this for. Um I want to see how long I could just talk mostly uninterrupted. It might be a few breaks to catch my breath, but I aside from that, I just want to see how long I could just ramble for, you know. Um I also kind of getting into the rambling. I got a Rubik's Cube. I got a Rubik's Cube today. And that was awesome. I'm playing with it right now. I don't think I've ever really had a Rubik's Cube before, but I bought it today. I drove to Walmart and I went, I'm gonna get a Rubik's Cube. So that's what I did. Um and I'm just I'm just gonna be fidgeting with it, I guess, in the background while I talk. Um and it's kind of weird, right? Because I in the package, when I opened it up, inside the package it was already solved, right? Just all the colors perfectly matched, awesome. But I guess I'm the one who's supposed to scramble it up and stuff. But that's kind of funky, isn't it? Because it's what if, I don't know, that feels like cheating. Because what if some part of me, my part of my subconscious, knows how to solve it then, after, because it's already in, because if I'm the one scrambling it up, my brain, all it has to do is some part of my little gorilla brain, fish brain, um it has to be oh, we just have to do this but in reverse. And it's what if, that's probably how it works somehow. But yeah, I'm gonna take a swig of water as well. That doesn't count as me stopping talking. I'm just hydrating, and you should too. You, the listener, should drink water. Gulp, glug, awesome. Clearing my throat. But yeah, so that's a weird design choice for a Rubik's Cube, and maybe this is based on nothing, which it probably is. But I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I am actively trying to solve it right now, and I'm not doing anything. I'm not really getting much progress in it, if at all. So maybe this is probably just stupid. But I don't know. It's just a part of it, just But whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to think of things to talk about, because I don't want this to just be me talking about wanting to talk about things but can't think about stuff to talk about, because then that, I don't think that'll be very entertaining. And not that I'm super concerned about this being entertaining. I don't really care. At the end of the day, this is just kind of me trying to see how long I could just make shit up for, but I don't know. I think it would be funny. But aside from, I fucked it up. But aside from that, I don't know. It sucks, cause I was thinking about, going with the rambling. I was thinking about something that happened the other day, where it's shit was going on. I had to go to the doctor, right? And I went up. I went to the hospital and I went up to the doctor. I was doctor, come quickly, please. I have it's bone shedding season. My bones are being shed. And then the doctor was oh, great googly moogly. Oh, that fucking sucks. Nurse, come over here. And then he ran away because he's allergic to bones, I think. So the nurse came in, and then the nurse was oh, great googly moogly. And then he pulls out his googly moogly, which is imagine a googly moogly, just for people who don't know. It's imagine the little green robot from Team Umizoomi, the guy with the little iPad on his stomach. And then if that guy, and then the yellow keypad in Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, the thing you type on in the beginning of each night, if those two had a child, but it wasn't sentient, right? That's kind of what a googly moogly looks like. So he pulled out his googly moogly, and he went, doing a bone scan. And then he scanned me. It's oh, this is worse than I thought. You have bone deficiency. And I was fuck. I got that checked out years ago. I thought they dealt with it, but it's back now, and that fucking sucks. And he's like, yes, it's worse than I thought. Come here, I have a treatment for it. So I followed the doctor. We went past like a bunch of like really long hallways. I didn't know the hospital was like this big on the inside, but it was. We went past these like super big hallways, lots of doors. I don't know where they go to, but lots of doors. And then at the very end of the last hallway was this one door in the middle of the final wall. And would come in here quickly. And then I step inside, and there's this giant fucking doohickey right in the middle of the room. It's like super big. It has like a bunch of knobs and dials and gears and shit and bits and bops, you know. And I was like, nurse, what is this? And he went, this is my bone fixer 879. I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Is this gonna fix me up, doc? Nurse? And he went, yes, my child. You're 18 plus, but you're my child. I was like, fuck, that's awesome. I've adopted. And then he showed me the entrance of the bone fixer upper. 879, I think I said was the number. I don't remember. This was like a year or two ago. But he showed me how to get inside of it. He was like, yes, you just climb in there and I'll be on the outside, making sure everything runs smoothly. So I did as he told. I stepped inside of the machine, and then after a little bit, just like it started activating, and it was, shit started whirring, the gears were turning, the fucking cogs and globs were going, and I was like, oh my god, doc, I can feel it, and then oh shit, oh god, oh, and then like fucking shit starts happening like fast and big, and I was getting boned, but like not in a sexual way, in a medical way. I was getting boned, wink, and it was fucking, everything was going, all the fucking cogs and knobs and dials and pistons and shit, and it was really like kind of a cool experience in retrospect, but in the moment I was like panicking, and then it's like I couldn't see because there's like this big white flash of light that was just in my eyes, and it was blinding me, and I couldn't see shit. I was like, doctor, is this supposed to happen? And he went, yes, my child, this is all according to plan. And I just, oh my god, I had such a headache. But then the weirdest thing happened, dear listener, because then the white light, it started changing color. It started going from white, and then it turned red, and then blue, and then green. I was like, doctor, are you sure? My eyes. And he went, yes, yeah. Oh god, wait, no, that's a lie. No, fuck, it's not. Oh god, I turned on the RGB mode. I didn't mean to do that. And I was like, fuck, not the RGB mode. I'm getting fucking RGB boned, but not in a sexual way, wink. And I was like, fuck, that sucks. I don't want to be RGB'd. And then it just kept flashing red and blue and green, and red and blue and green, and then after a little bit, it stopped. The machine turned on. I was like, oh my, thank god. The doctor, he must have found a way. The nurse, he must have found a way to turn it off. And I stepped out of the machine. I was like, nurse, is everything okay? What was that? And then, but the nurse wasn't there, and the hospital wasn't there either, and everything around me was completely different. And I look around, it was like, oh god, I'm in RGB land. The RGB mode teleported me to RGB land. It's like, fuck. And then it sucks, because I've read about this place. I've read about RGB land. And the thing about RGB land is that a common misconception, RGB land doesn't stand for red, blue, green. It stands for really big goblins. That's what RGB stands for. It's like, fuck. I'm in really big goblin land. Shit. And that fucking sucked. It sucks. I was like, oh my god. I need to find a way to get out of here. I can't be in really big goblin land. I don't have my passport. I don't have my identity on me. I left my driver's license in my home, even though I drove here. Really big lapse in my judgment then, but it doesn't matter because I'm in really big goblin land. It fucking sucks, you know. So I just like started. I was in a field, and I just started like wandering the fields of really big goblin land, because I just didn't know where to go. I just started wandering aimlessly, hoping I could maybe find some sort of civilization, you know? And then off in the distance, I see a small village. I was like, holy shit. I found people. I found people in RGB land, in really big goblin land. And so I started running over. That's the sound I made when I ran over. I was like, oh my god, I'm saved. And then, oh fuck, oh god. And really, I don't know what I expected when I saw that there was civilization in really big goblin land. But turns out it's just goblins. It's just goblins there. No, nothing else. No one else. Just goblins. And I walked into the village, and it was just like a bunch of fucking goblins. And they were really big. They were really big goblins, hence the name. But also, like, to be fair, they weren't like that big, you know, because goblins, like, on their own, they're like kind of small. So it's like they're still like average height of a person, but like in comparison to like what goblins are meant to be, how big they're supposed to be, they're like really big goblins. Hence RGB land. And so I walked up to the village because, like, fuck, I mean, I might as well like try to get the bearings on like where I am, you know. And I found this little goblin, or not little, he was really big goblin, but I saw one, and I went up to him and I was like, sir, do you know where I am? And he looked up at me. We were like eye level, really big goblin, again, hence the name RGB land, really big goblin land. But he looked up at me, there metaphorically, and he went, why, you're in RGB land, a really big goblin, hence the name RGB land. I was like, no, I know that, but where am I specifically? And he went, oh, you're in Old Oak Village. I'm the blacksmith here of RGB land, really big goblin land. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Can you like forge me up like a plane ticket back to Earth? And he went, oh, no, plane tickets, I can't do that. To Earth, no. You see, RGB land isn't a part of this of where you're from. RGB land is it's a part. It's a different universe, as a matter of fact. You didn't know that. That's okay. Tourists don't know everything, but just letting you know, this is like a completely different place. It's like, fuck. So am I stuck here? And he went, well, no, not necessarily. You see, there is a way to go back home. I'm a blacksmith. I can forge you up a portal with the right materials. And I was like, oh my god, you can? Well, what do you want me to get? I can get you wood, I can get you stone, maybe a bit of iron, Minecraft, copper. And he went, no, that won't do. I have all of that already. No, I need you to give me something far greater, but oh, it'll never work. He was like, no, goblin, sir, my name's Charles. Oh, I'm sorry, Charles. Please tell me what I need to get you, and I promise I will. It's like, and he went, oh, okay. Let me tell you the legend of this land. Back in the day, a legend was proposed by 3 small goblin oracles. I went, small goblin oracles, you said? But this is really big goblin land, RGB land. How can they be small? And he went, well, that's the thing, my friend. You see, we weren't always really big goblins, RGB for short, just using slang. We weren't always really big goblins, no.
back in the day, this was our SB land. Really small goblin. That was until the Fiend came. And the Fiend, using his trans-dimensional orb of big, he turned all of us really small goblins into really big goblins. RGB, just using slang. And it sucks, and we're not supposed to be this big. We used to be small, but now we're big, and there's a famine. Oh God, there's a famine in this land, because we didn't know we would be this big, so all of our food was small for small people, and now they're not enough for big people. Oh God. Oh, but you could never stop him, and you could never get the bigger ring orb that I need to make the portal, because he's unstoppable. But the legend says that only someone with this artifact could stop him. But oh God, you can't, and we're gonna be in famine forever because we didn't know we'd be this big. And then his stomach, it starts rumbling, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, excuse me, that's just my grumblies again. I've been a bit peckish due to, the famine." And I was like, "Oh, well, I have this for you, if it'll help at all." And I reach in my pocket, and I pull out a granola bar, blueberry flavored. I was like, I mean, if I was gonna say this for later, but you can have it if you want. And he went, by God. And then he took off his like cartoonishly giant circular glasses. He like and then he like rubbed it, and then he put it back on, and he went, "Do my eyes deceive me? Oh, my goodness."
And I was like, well, I mean, you don't have to have it it was just an offering. You don't have to have it if you don't want it. Do you not like blueberries? Or like,
no, you don't get it. This is the ancient artifact foretold by the oracles 50 years ago. They're dead now. Goblins don't live that long. I'm 2. But that's like 80 in goblin years. But this was foretold by the oracles 50 years ago. Oh my God, you must be the awesome person from the prophecy.
I was like, I mean, am I really? I'm not sure. I'm meant to be at the doctor's. My bone deficiency.
Bone deficiency! So it is exactly as they said. Come now. We need to talk more about this prophecy.
And then I went into his little blacksmith shack. And he shut the door. He locked the doors. He closed the blinds.
He went, now listen here and listen good. You, as foretold by the prophecy, are meant to go to the super evil goblin, bigger sorcerer, and you're meant to give him the artifact. And once you force feed him the blueberry flavored granola bar, he will explode and send you back to your home world. I don't even need to make a portal. You just fucking make him chow down on that granola bar blueberry flavor, and he'll fucking explode, and the explosion will create a black hole, and it'll send you to your homeworld.
It's like, oh my God, really? That's really convenient. I mean, I guess I'll go, and I'll just give it to him right now.
It went, no. That's what he said. He went, no. You can't. It's too dangerous. You need to go on the safe path, but the path is also pretty dangerous. But you gotta do it. You gotta do it, man. You gotta. It's super dangerous, but safe, kind of. And it's a quest. You have to go on a quest. You have to go on a quest through RGB, really big goblin land, to save the realm.
But I'm like, I'm just a girl out in a big world, really big goblin world, and I don't know if I can do this on my own. And he went,
Don't worry, your really medium-sized head. It's actually kind of lackluster, the size of your head, but don't worry at all. I'll be accompanying you on your journey.
I was like, fuck, that's really nice of you, Charles.
And yes, that's my name.
Yeah, thanks. That's really nice of you. I appreciate that, man.
Don't you mention it. Now, come on. We have an adventure to go on.
And then he packed up his things. He got a little, it's like he got his like sack tied to like an end of a stick, and he like tucked it over his shoulder and went, come on now.
We have adventuring to do.
Right? And so we left the village. And we started going. We went through in our first destination. Our first destination was the twisting, winding, really bogus woods of the goblins. And it's really bogus, because you don't know where you're going in the woods, because it's twisting and winding and bogus, and it misdirects you, and it warps, and it contorts, and it blorts, and it was just super confusing, and I was like, and I went, Charles, I think we've been down this route before in the forest. I swear I've seen these exact same trees like 1,000 different times by now. How long have you been here? And he went,
well, judging by the time of the sun and the sky, I'd say we've been here for 98,000 hours.
It's like, fuck, I'm supposed to like die to bone deficiency by now. And he went,
well, yes, but time doesn't move that much in the forest, in the woods, or which name I remember. It doesn't really do that. So like in outside of here, it's only been like 3 seconds at most, really.
I was like, fuck, I mean, fair enough, I guess we can take our time here. So we kept walking, but I don't want to walk. Shut up, narrator. I don't want to keep walking, because we've been here before, and we need to go back, because I don't know where the fuck we are. And it went, no, you can't deny the call to adventure. Again, you've already done that. We have to keep going. I'm the mentor, but I'm going to stay alive through the whole story. But you can't do that. And I was like, watch me, bitch. And then I started sprinting, and as I started running, I went, and I ran into another goblin. Oh god, this goblin was really fucking big. He was an RFBG, a really fucking big goblin. And he turned around and went, that's the sound he made. And I was, oh shoot, I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't expect to see someone in these woods. Do you want me to help you up? And he didn't I mean, I was down on the floor. He was standing above me, so he really needed to help me up. But, I mean, I wasn't thinking straight, because I was in the twisting, winding woods of the Goblin Forest, And he turns around, and I see that he has a club in his hand, a wooden club, and it went, that's the sound he made. And Charles behind me went, look out, that's a really big fucking goblin that works for the sorcerer. And I didn't hear him, because he was like pretty far away. And so it's like, what Charles, what did you see? And then he whacked me with his club, and I went flying, and I slammed against the tree, and I went, oh, my aching head. And then the really big fucking goblin, he started going. That's the sound he made as he started lumbering towards me. And then Charles was like, look out! And then he throws his awesome blacksmith hammer, and it hits the head of the really big fucking goblin. And then at this, the really big fucking goblin, he went,
then he ran off screaming and crying like the pathetic little baby he was. But he was so big that with every step he took, it left a giant footprint in the dirt of the forest. And I went, Charles, you genius! That'll lead us out of the twisty, windy goblin forest woods. And then we ran to follow the footprints of the really big fucking goblin. And then after like 5 minutes, we finally, after like, honestly, I don't know how long I said we were in there for, but probably like a year or something. After that amount of time, we made it out of the goblin woods, and it was beautiful outside, because I just, once you see a goblin woods tree, you see them all, and it just got so fucking boring after being in there for so long. And I got like a bit emotional. I was like, Charles, we made it. We did it. And then Charles was like, no, we fucking didn't. We still have to give the goblin sorcerer your fucking granola bar blueberry flavor. It's like, fuck, you're right. I forgot about that. I've been so focused on trying to do this, on trying to get out of the forest, that I completely forgot about the granola bar blueberry flavor and the goblin sorcerer. And he patted my back and he went, now, it's no reason to get hung up on. All that matters is that we're out and that we're continuing our journey. It's like, you're right, Charles. Thank you, mentor figure. And then we kept walking. And then we kept walking. And then we did shit. And there was like a cool travel montage. Imagine in your head right now of a montage of me and Charles, right? Going through like hijinks and misadventures. It's kind of, I'm training in between everything. It's kind of cool. We're awesome. We're chill. And just like imagine that in your head, because once that's over, we hit a thing, a little doodad of some sorts, and then I take a few steps back and I realize the doodad is actually a building, and not just any building. It's a little stone, like a miniature, what's it called? Like a little tower, a little stone tower, like in the middle of these goblin plains. And once I hit it and I backed up, I heard a voice coming from it going, "Who goes there?" And I stepped back and it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm Juniper. This is Charles, and we're just going two wacky characters on hijinks to save the day." And the voice, it comes down, it scales down the tower. There's like a giant door in the middle of the tower, but the person just decides to from the uppermost layer of the tower to just climb down. It was really cool, actually. I don't blame her. It was cool. But then I saw her. She was like this goblin person, woman, kind of like Charles, but like woman, and she goes, "Haven't seen a face like that in years. What an ugly fucking mug." And I turn to Charles and I go, "She's talking about you." And I look at her and I go, what are you doing out here? What's going on?" And she went, "Oh, me? You want to know my backstory?" It's like, I mean, I guess that's not really what I asked for. "Okay, I'll tell you. You see, my name's Sabrina Gobliner, heir of the Gobliner throne. But, I can't get it now. I can't get it. Because after the Goblin Sorcerer, he attacked my kingdom. He attacked my kingdom and exiled me to this fucking tower, this stupid ass fucking tower. And he took over my kingdom
once he made everything really fucking big. And it sucks. But if I got my hands on that fucking sorcerer, just you see. And I'd fucking give him the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6, 7. Just a little joke for you. But I do all of those things and more to him if I got my hands on him. And I was like, well, you're in luck, cause actually me and my friend here, Charles, we're actually gonna go see the goblin sorcerer guy. I mean, you can, if you want, you can come with us and you can give him the 1, 2, and the 6, 7 and do all of those things, You can have your revenge. Fuck, you can probably, take back your kingdom and shit. I mean, you could do a thing here. We can get, a little arrangement. And she was like, I like your moxie. My voice changed. I like your moxie. No, ew, that was too seductive. I didn't like that. I like your moxie. Yeah, I guess I'll go on this super magical RGB really big goblin quest with you lot. I can't stop chuckling. I'm just so joyous. And I was like, fuck, that's awesome. I love joy. Yeah, sure, you can, let's go. Let's fuck shit up. Yeah. So we kept going. I'm gonna get more water. Fuck. Sorry. Shit, it's been 30 minutes. Fuck, that's awesome. Anyways, we kept going. And we kept going, right? And then, I was like, you know what? It's time that we, as a party, we gotta start bonding, guys, or else we can never save the day without a good friendship. Maybe even a sort of found family dynamic, but right now let's just start at friendship. And Charles was like, oh, you're right. I suppose I haven't given you my backstory. And then Sabrina Goblinder was like, I don't want to hear your fucking backstory, old man. I was like, I'm oh. I was like, Sabrina, you rapscallion, that's no way to treat your elders. But Sabrina pulled out a fucking goblin gun, GG for short. And she went, I know exactly what you are, old man. And she was southern for a second there. That was weird. And I was like, what do you mean? I know who you are. You didn't tell her about the full story of the legend, did you? And the old man was like, oh, no, I didn't. Oh, God. I was like, God, Charles, what is she talking about? You told me the prophecy. And then Sabrina Goblinder was like, no, he didn't. For you see, legend has it that an old man will be attending you during your quest, but you can't trust him, Juniper, because he's a traitor, and he's gonna force feed us all cheesed burgers, but really bad cheeseburgers, goblin cheeseburgers, and I was like, is this Charles? Is this true? I trusted you. I thought we had a thing. We were like a friendship, not anything beyond that, but something was going on. We were bantering, we were having fun, we were goofing and gaffing and chuckling and chortling together. And he was like, oh, I don't want to betray you. I never had any intention of betraying you. But it says in the prophecy I will at some point, and I can't control my actions. I'm just an elderly goblin guy. I can't help it if I betray you, but I don't want to. You gotta help me out here. And then, deep in the woods, a rustling came, and then Sabrina was like, "Do you guys hear that? Get ready to fight!" And then so Goblin Charles drew out his hammer. Sabrina, her iconic goblin battle axe, and me, the sword that was given to me off camera a bit ago, like a few months ago during the forest. And then out from the bushes came this old man. And then Sabrina went, "That's the fucking old man from the prophecy. He's gonna fucking betray us if we don't kill him now." And then she shot him, and he died. And then Charles like, "Whoa, I guess we're good. That was probably the old guy from the prophecy. He's dead now. So like, I guess prophecies change. I don't know, but like, fuck, that's cool. We're good now. We're cool. I guess." Hell yeah. So like, can I be a part of our crew then? Can I still be a part of the party? The polycule? It's like, the polycule? I was like, what? What do you mean the polycule? No, partycule. That's what I said. I'm old and senile. And I was like, sure, man, if you want to be a part of the party, I mean, I didn't really want to kill you anyways. So it's like, it's cool that I don't have to. And you know, and I think you're pretty awesome, Sauce. As a guy, you know, I've gotten to know you for like a year now, and really, I think our dynamic as friends is really awesome, and I appreciate you too, Sabrina. You know, because we haven't really talked that much. We met you like 5 minutes ago, but you're also pretty cool. I think we're best friends. We're best friends. Me, you, in this big goblin world. You know? It's like, fuck, guys. I'm so grateful to have you. And I and then I start crying. And then the other two start crying. And then we all pass out because the old guy that Sabrina just shot, turns out prophecies can't change, and he still fucking betrayed us because he knew that he'd get shot. So he hid a secret gas in his blood that once he got shot and the blood started coming out, the gas started coming out too, and it knocked us all out. And then we woke up, the three of us, and we're, where are we? And I look around, and we're in this dark, moldy, damp dungeon, and there were like chains all around, rattling with like the slight breeze coming from one of coming from like the slits between the stone bricks, and I was it was fucked up, you know. The shit was fucked. And then out from the dark, I saw, or no, beside me, I saw my two friends, Charles and Sabrina Goblinder, also chained up with me. And then out from the dark, I saw this big fucking goblin. And he came up to me, holding a very suspicious orb. And he went, "Ah, so how has your treatment been, Juniper?" It's like, treatment? What do you mean? "Treatment for bone deficiency. Does that sound familiar to you?" Bone deficiency? How do you know about that? Only Charles and my doctor from back home knows about that. And the goblin sorcerer lets out a hearty laugh. He goes, "So you really don't recognize me, do you? I'm your doctor, Juniper. I wore a doctor's skin mask back in your world, and I intentionally put you here in RGB really big goblin world. And I did it for one purpose, and one purpose only." And then he steps closer, and he goes to me, he goes, "Have you ever heard
of the hit TV show BoJack Horseman.
I was like, BoJack Horseman? I mean, yeah. I mean, I've never watched it myself, if that's what you're asking. But yeah, man, I've heard of it.
He's like, just as I thought. You see, Juniper, in all of my years of being a big goblin, I was born a big goblin. A really big goblin. But I was born in a world of small goblins. I felt out of place. Much like you with your bone deficiency. We aren't too dissimilar, you and I. We're quite the same.
It's like, no, not really. Dude, you're weird.
No, I insist. We're the same. Anyways, I was born different from the others. But then, I watched BoJack Horseman. And that show, that show, Juniper, was just so magnificent. I mean, BoJack as a character was such an alpha giga chad male. I mean, I just never related so hard to a piece of fiction before. Everything he did and said was just so fucking based. But then the show ended. 6 seasons in, and the show ended. And it left a mark on my heart, that show. And I went, I want to be just like that horse, Juniper. And so I did but I was better. And I did what BoJack Horseman never could. And I made everyone big. It's like you're a madman. And I know I'm a goblin and a big fucking one at that. And I'm not just gonna stop here. You think the people on Earth are big. You haven't seen anything yet. I'm gonna make a really big human machine. And I'm gonna make everyone on Earth really fucking big. I've already started working with the politicians of that world, of the YouTubers, with Sabrina Carpenter, with that's like the parallel version of Sabrina Goblinder in this world. By the way, your 2 friends, they're fucking dead. I forgot to mention that. They haven't been moving this entire time. I didn't do that. I mean, I didn't want to kill them. I thought maybe it would be funny to do that later in the future. But I guess they're like allergic to the fucking gas that knocked you out earlier or something. Because they're fucking gone, man. They're fucking dead. That's kind of funny, actually, when you think about it. It's like, no, you monster. Why would you do that? Those were my friends. And he went, oh, friends. Who needs friends? BoJack Horseman certainly didn't. It's like, you'll never get away from this. And he went, oh, but I already have.
And then he walks behind where he was before, and he leaves the dungeon. And he leaves me there to die. And I hate to admit it, but I started crying, and I just couldn't stop crying. And I cried and cried for like a few days, like 12 days, 7 days actually, like God from Christian Bible, and I just kept crying, and then eventually my tears, they started making a small puddle, and that puddle built up more and more until it reached my chains, and the chains were actually corrosive 2 tears. And they became brittle like my bones because I was bone deficient. And then I pulled on my chains as hard as I could, and when it snapped, and I was a free Juniper. And I stepped out of my restraints, and I looked at the lifeless bodies of my 2 friends, Charles and Sabrina Goblinder. And I gave them a salute, and I went, "Rest easy, my friends." And then I walked off, sad, but ready to save the fucking day. So then, there I was, on the wizard tower of the goblin sorcerer, very big guy, like 12 feet. He's big even for big goblin standards, like Jesus fucking Christ. And I went, "Heh, you just couldn't kill me, could you? Guess you are kinda stupid, huh? Don't you dare say that! Why, I'll kill you for that!" And then he grabs out his 2 goblin guns, GG for short. I've never seen that many in my life. And he started shooting them at me, but it was like the Matrix, and it was really cool. And I was like dodging and ducking them and swerving and whirling all around, and it was awesome. You should have fucking been there. And I dodged them all, and I went, "Hey, chew on this." And then I gave him the granola bar, blueberry flavor. I shoved it down his fucking gullet and went, "I don't swallow." I went, "No, this can't be. But I've already come so far. My friends, this can't be for nothing." And then I heard a voice from behind me. Need a hand?" And I turned around to look, and it was fucking Charles and Sabrina Goblinder behind me, and they were there to help. And I was like, "Oh, you guys, you shouldn't have. I thought you were dead." They're like, and then Sabrina's like, "Yeah, we were. I guess not anymore. That's kind of cool." And then they helped me, and then we beat the shit out of Charles. We didn't even need the granola bar. We didn't even fucking need that thing. Turns out prophecies can be changed after all. And that's the moral of the story, because when he fucking died, when that fuck-ass goblin fucking died, he fucking turned into a black hole, like the prophecy said, and I fucking rumble-a-doo. That's my catchphrase. That's what I said before I walked through. And I gave my friends one last look. And I stepped through that black hole, and I made it back on Earth. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. So I mean, like, aside from that, I don't really know what else to talk about, because like not that much has really been going on in my week, So I guess I'll leave that here. So fucking bye, I guess. Shit, why are you here? Fucking nerd.